Perfect.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Stay seated.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Good to see you. So,
Yeah,
I want to start at one spot and then I want to go back, okay?
Okay.
So you recently went to Thailand
Yes,
and you wrote a letter.
I did.
And,
Be careful when you write a letter.
well, it- honestly, Mark, it was a remarkable letter. And so I'm setting you up,
Okay.
okay? So before I'm going to read a portion of this, but before I do that, I want you to take a few minutes and just tell us a little about yourself. You've been in real estate how long?
Now I've been in 33 years.
Wow.
18 years with Century 21, and in May it will be 15 years here at Keller Williams.
So we have what?
33.
Yeah, so we have, what is that? 18 more years to catch up.
Yes, at least.
Okay, we're going to work for that.
And with your guidance and wisdom on this page, will help me get there.
Yes, my witty comments.
Yes.
Okay, so you got in real estate with Century 21. Tell me about that. Just take a second and just tell us a little about your career.
So I used to be a CPA. I went to school at USC, graduated with honors in accounting, and my family loaned the owner of the Century 21 all his money, and when we went through the recession, they couldn't pay us back, and we got ownership, and I came in as the controller at that time.
Wow.
And luckily, it was the top 5, it was number 5 in the whole Century 21 system. So we were doing a lot of volume, we just weren't profitable. And
I've heard
I knew
of
you
that
would.
before.
so I was brought in to help change that. And so Mike Berry had sent us management tickets, and my boss said, "Oh, this is great." So I went, and they were talking about running a business like a business.
Yeah.
So I really worked on coaching the agents and doing that. And what was interesting, Matt and Tom were just starting off doing over-the-phone training. So I said, "This is great." I hired them. We hired telemarketers.
The fairies.
And we
Common
did that.
fairy, yeah.
But what happened was, we would generate leads and we turn it to the agents, we'd call back and say, "What's going on?" And they'd say, wait, we don't want those bozos. We want the guys we talked to on the phone. Well, they weren't licensed, so we couldn't do that. So they finally quit because they got frustrated. And I started training the agents on what to say and how to do it, and became the sales manager without ever selling.
And then you later.
Then I would take people to my career. I'm saying, wait, I'm making $60,000 a year,
Yeah,
and he's talking about making $500,000, $1 million. I think I'm in the wrong job.
Okay.
So I switched,
Yeah.
becoming a salesperson.
Yeah.
Made up a business plan.
Yeah.
And decided at the August Superstar retreat, this is not what I want to do. I want to go into real estate. So I made a plan, joined business planning. So I had to coach beforehand, and then I figured I'm going to start in the 4th quarter, so I have 3 months to get started, and then I would be able to do this. It was 2000, or no, this was probably 1995. Wow. And within 2 years of just cold calling and door knocking through our area, I became the #1 agent on units in our market in Agoura and Oak Park. There was one, thank you. One lady beat me
What?
in volume
What?
because she was doing the high end. But the thing was, I didn't even know how to get around. We only had MapBooks. I didn't grow up in our area, so I didn't have a database of people. I only could go out and door knock and cold call and just generate business.
You've had a remarkable career.
So thank you.
We could spend more time on that, but I want to shift gears now. Now that they know who you are, you're married.
Yes,
You have 1 kid, 2 kids?
3 daughters.
Okay, you have 3 daughters. All right.
2 of them are now working for me.
Yep. So I'm gonna read the intro of your letter,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna ask you just to talk about what you shared in it. Okay.
Yep.
So the title of the letter is "What I Learned from My Trip to Thailand." I'm Mark Moskowitz,
Yep.
a top real estate agent in the greater Los Angeles area. I've been selling real estate for 33 years. The last 14 were really fun at Keller Williams. I'm kidding. He didn't say that. He was waiting, yeah. The last 14 and a half years with Keller Williams in Westlake Village, California. I'm 62 years old. When I was 17, I was diagnosed with
retinitis pigmentosa,
a hereditary eye disease that gradually takes away peripheral vision, night vision, and eventually leads to total blindness. Over the years, I've learned to adapt, to adjust, and to persevere. But this trip to Thailand was something different, and it pushed me in ways I never expected. It terrified me, it humbled me, and ultimately it transformed me. And you sent this beautiful letter. In your own words, can you just take a few minutes and just tell everyone about that trip and what your ahas were?
Okay, so kind of back up for a moment. 3 years ago at family reunion, we were in Anaheim, and I came off my best year in 2021, and you said on the stage in 2022, don't tell me you're having your best year tripping and stumbling as you're doing it. And my daughter is guiding me through the house, and I'm starting to lose things that I never would have lost if I didn't know how to do it. Mm-hmm. So I came here, I ran into Mo, and I said, Mo, I'd love to talk to you more. I'm having a challenge. She said, great, let me talk to you. And I talked to you to call my assistant, and I did. We talked 30 days later. And from that, every question I had came up during family reunions. When I talked to Mo a month later, she said, I thought you were going to be quitting real estate. And she goes, oh my God, you've been great. The answers came to me because open to them. But she suggested I talk to her friend Jim, who was on stage during the prayer breakfast, and talk about going blind. He's the one that is the producer.
Yes.
And she set me up with a conversation with him. And he said, Mark, I do everything I've always wanted to do. I'm not missing out. I just do it differently. And I said, what about travel? He goes, oh, I travel everywhere. I just do it differently. That opened the gate and the possibility of what could happen. So Mo, thank you very much for introducing me, because that was the start of this journey. And so all of a sudden, we've been traveling. Last year in June, I took the whole family, went to Dominican Republic. Our friends travel, and they go, we'd like to travel with you, Mark. Are you able to do it? And I said, yes. So two friends called me and told me about this trip to Thailand, and I said, great. And thank God they didn't tell you a lot about the trip. It was, so I didn't really know. So we went, and my attitude was, I'd figure it out as I go. I just don't want to be a burden to people holding everybody up.
Yeah.
And so there were 33 people on the trip, and the first part through Bangkok and just getting through the streets and the sidewalks, I did really well, and it was, wow, this is great, I can do it. But we did it slowly and didn't hinder anyone. Well, then we went up north, and that's when the adventure came, and it was off-road wheeling and jeeps that climb into waterfalls and everything else. Fortunately, they had one of the drivers, they said, Mark, we're just gonna have Yossi guide you. It's like, okay, great, we'll figure this out. And I figured, I'll just do it one step at a time and figure it out. And I can always stop if it gets too dangerous. So we get to the first waterfall, and it is all uneven ground, there's steps, none of them are even, and there's a broken pipe, and there's water coming down the stairs, and it's muddy. And I said, okay, great. And so Yossi was fantastic, and he said, Mark, we got this. We're gonna take it one step at a time, and with his confidence, it gave me the confidence to keep going, and we did one step at a time. And he would say, this is the big step, this is the little step. And each time, oh my God, Mark, you're doing so great. I can't believe it.
What's going on in your mind?
It was freeing having someone guide you and walk you through.
Okay.
And when people were behind us, we stopped and let them pass us. So don't let people push you beyond your comfort level. If you need to stop for a moment and gain your thoughts and gain your composure and gain understanding of where you're going, that's okay. Take a moment and then you can keep going. So all of a sudden we got to the top of the waterfall, and it was incredible. Then we decided we're gonna climb up to the geyser. And so now as we're going, well, there's a canopy of trees over us. So we said, hey, Mark, stop. Feel this. He goes, oh, that's the roots coming from the canopy down to the ground. This is this. So I now am feeling things in a different way.
Yeah.
So it's different, but I can still experience and do it in a completely different way.
Now, question.
Please.
Had you known that it was going to be at
No.
that?
No, then I found out later it was called an adventure trip. And if I knew it would be this much adventure,
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't have gone.
Probably not.
So sometimes we let our fears stop us. Don't do that.
You're going to do it.
So then, and many times people came up to me at the end of the day, like especially when we went down to the hot springs and had to do that, and that was absolutely treacherous. And several people said, Mark, if you could actually see what was ahead of you, you would have never have done it. So not seeing was actually an advantage.
Wow.
And then I got to do it and enjoy it. And then on the way back,
Were there people on your trip that didn't do it?
my wife and I were the youngest. The average age of this trip was probably 66 to 74. People were coming up to me and saying, I wanted to back out, but because you were doing it, I couldn't back out.
Wow.
And everyone did more.
Wow. Wow.
Now,
Can
we
I
went on 8 different boats, and that's the scary part. So think about it, you're now going to get on a boat that's moving and rocking, and you're not sure. And if you've been to Thailand, some of these boats aren't very good boats. If I could see them, you probably wouldn't want to go either. And then you're sitting down, and you're 3 inches off the ground or sitting on the ground. However, what I found out in good communication, if someone would explain to me up front what we're going to walk down here, we're going to make a left, and we're going to hop on the bus or hop on the boat this way or that way, then I had a mental picture of what to do, and I could then figure it out. So good communication really made a difference.
have a question.
Please.
So you made a statement earlier, Mark, we wanted to back out, but once we saw that you were going to do it, we had to go do it. How many times in your life before those moments did people come up to you and say that?
I mean, when I teach classes, I always tell people, if I'm talking about door knocking, I would always door knock, and believe me, there have been times where I was walking around a corner and I always same time I cut across someone's grass and I didn't see a step, and I've gone flying across the front lawn and my papers are all over, and I've done that. One time I was door knocking, I cut across someone's grass, and I ran into a branch and hit me right in the forehead. I'm bleeding from where it hit my glasses. I split my pants from the crotch all the way up to the back, and I am sprawled out bleeding, looking around. Thank God nobody's there to see this or look. I take my notepad and I'm taking the blood off of my forehead.
Oh, no.
Now, I just went to the cleaners and I had a new pair of pants. So I went and changed my pants and finished up that block. Because you can't end on a bad note. It was more important to continue than let this stop you.
Okay, so we're back on the boats.
We're back on the boats. Okay, so we're back on the boat, so we got to do that. We got to do, and so we did that. We did the elephants, and so my guide was great, but to get down to the river to wash the elephants, you got to go down in the slide in the mud. So we learned how. So we knew if the road was wide, I'd take his elbow and he would guide me. He'd say, Mark, it's slow, it's rocky, it's bumpy, not a problem. And if he got really narrow, he said, okay, and I put my hand on his shoulder. We learned to communicate and had different words. Now, through this, my wife also was guiding me, and she was absolutely amazing. And my daughter said to us, you guys are great, but you bicker way too much, okay? And she has no patience sometimes for helping me, and I have no patience for her instructions. Has that ever happened in your marriage?
Yeah.
Okay. And so our daughter said to us, you guys can do this, but just have a little grace and a little patience with each other, and it'll be amazing what you can accomplish, okay? So my wife was amazing in guiding me. I was amazing in receiving the information. And we became, by the end, we were the poster child of how to have a marriage and communicate, which is actually shocking as we did it. So I have to go back to the Dominican Republic, and my wife had a major argument, okay? We were getting on a shuttle bus, and in my mind, I'm thinking it's a big bus. I'm gonna walk up 3 stairs, walk down the aisle, and then find my seat. It happened to be a minivan, and we were going through the side door. So I went up the 2 steps, and I'm trying to turn. She's yelling at me to sit down. The driver grabs me by the shoulders and yanks me into the seat. How do you think that made me feel or comfortable? And she's yelling at me, I'm the guide, you need to listen. And I'm saying I didn't feel safe. This is a key point. When you're guiding someone or directing someone, they must feel safe for them to receive the information. So after about a week of this argument, I said, if you would explain to me what type of bus it was, I can know. This entire trip, she goes, oh, Mark, we're getting on a big bus and you're gonna go left. We're getting in the side gate. By having a little understanding, I could move forward and I could accomplish anything. And so can you.
So, 2 things.
Please.
2 things. One, are you okay if we publish this?
Yes, you can publish it.
I'd like to send it to everybody.
Okay.
Is that okay with you?
Yep.
Okay.
Can I make a comment on that real quick?
Please.
So, one of the things I truly believe is there's a purpose, and God sends us the right people at the right time. Unfortunately, we're not always open to receiving it.
Yeah.
And so if we're very stubborn or we look at things from a more negative standpoint, when the people come in, we're not ready to receive them or recognize them. And thank God over my life, many things have happened. I did not understand them at that time, but now they make sense. And I had to learn those lessons back then to do what I'm doing now. And so part of this journey was, I had no problem letting people know I couldn't see. However, we couldn't do it too prematurely until we were ready to tell our story in the right way. Because a year ago I lost the listing, and then they came back to me when the other person couldn't sell it. And unfortunately, people in this business, they said, oh, Mark is sick, and Mark was dying, and he may not be around when you finish up your listing to sell it, so she didn't go with me.
What?
Yep.
What?
And so I was nervous and afraid to let people know I couldn't see. How am I going to do my business? So we worked on setting up the models, the systems, the marketing material to show our knowledge, not our experience, as you said, our knowledge. Now people know I have the knowledge. Now in my mind, it's no longer a problem, me being a blind realtor. I can now go forward. But we had to do it right. We couldn't just come out, and so now I'm ready to come out as a blind realtor.
I love that. Thank you. So, one final question. That is, the last, you gave your 10 ahas.
Yep.
And with your permission, we're going to share that
Please.
other one here. The last one, you said growth happens outside your comfort zone. Can you end by telling us your thoughts around that?
If we get too much in our head, we won't do anything, okay? Now, in this last year of 2024, how many times were you scared? Because we had a BRBC, we were gonna completely change the way we had to do business. And people are running around the industry, the market centers, oh my God, what's gonna happen? The reality is we're all in the same boat. We're all having to deal with it. If you can stay calm and now come up with a plan, you can move forward. If you go into panic mode, you can't do anything about it. And what I do know is I'm smart enough to figure it out and figure a way to move forward. I'm smart enough to know that I've been going to these events long enough that if I just listen to Gary's vision speech, he's going to give us the answers So we can now talk to our clients and be the expert. That's the key. I love your vision speech because it gives me the information I need. I don't have to see it, but I now can understand, internalize it, and now I can share that with my clients, and they go, oh my gosh, Mark, you know so much. No, I just listened to Gary, studied it, figured out how to use it, and now I look like a genius. So if you come to these events, keep an open mind, and then move forward, you can accomplish anything. One more comment on that. You ended the vision speech going through those numbers and saying, it's not good or bad. My take sitting backstage was, this is fantastic. We're gonna still do about the same. I did well last year, not as well as I wanted, but we put the tools and the systems in place to move forward. With what I now know from last year, my new mindset, this new confidence, we can really go forward and conquer the world. However, prices are gonna continue to go up, you said that, so I'm gonna make even more money as I do a little bit more or a lot more. So stop going into fear of the unknown, just go forward, and if you take enough action, you can course correct along the way, and you can accomplish anything you want.
Thank you, Mark. Will you stand with me?
I will.
Okay. Now, we're going to end on this note. I want to ask you, please stand up and give a round of applause and appreciation for Mark.
Thank you.
And we're done. You gonna walk out with me?
Yep.
Okay. Tell me how to do
Take your elbow in, follow you.
Oh my goodness. Did you have them sign it? Yeah, exactly. You're right about that.
Arashida? Arashida? You're not here. That's great. want this one, Eric?
Give me 1 second here. Why is this? Give me 1 second.
I think you have to go to source, right? Just change it.
Yeah, I changed it to every source we've got. Let's try and do this a different way today.
Eric, what's the next video you want to show?
Next one is going to, no, the next video doesn't start for a while. The next one starts at 1:30 with Rory Vaden.
Oh.
I just wanted to go over, I just wanted to show you all the sessions that we have for this week,
Okay.
along with some reminders for what's going on next week, because we have the award ceremony next week. But it's not mirroring my screen like I wanted to. Let me try this again. Why does it only show one tab? Is that? There we go. All right, well, I finally got that situated. Sorry about that. How are y'all doing? Good, good. Who's here to actually watch that whole entire vision speech with the economic update from Gary and all that good stuff? I don't think there's a few of you. Let's hear some takeaways before I go over some quick things that we got going on this week and next. Mahi, is there anything, what did you take away from that? What did you hear from Gary and Jay and Jason?
So it was, market update,
Yeah.
so. it was-
Anything to take away that you want to bring to your clients or anything that you want to share?
I need to make points actually.
I gotcha. Was there one thing that stood out to you though, through the whole entire time that they spoke? If you had to choose one thing that stood out to you the most, what is it?
So there are less inventory.
No worries. Johnny, you were here for a little bit of it. What were your takeaways?
One of them was like referred clients are your best clients, it's the highest amount you get. So that's having your clients coming back to you, you know, being referred to you is probably a really good source of good.
Okay.
Good leads.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Anybody else got any takeaways from, I mean, I know some of you guys just came for the last 30 minutes, but any takeaways from that speech? Yeah.
I think there were more homes available per agent. I think it's increasing, that's what I thought.
Yeah,
And maybe I was wrong, but I thought that's what
I got you.
one of the slides mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, there are a few takeaways that I took away
4 or
from that.
5 per agent.
Yeah, this is my first time witnessing family reunion not there, so I was actually able to pay a little bit more attention than I normally have. There are a couple cool statistics actually. We thought there was going to be a mass exodus of agents these last couple of years with everything that's going on. Right now we have about 1.4 million agents nationally, and only 56,000 exited. And that's a really small number compared to the overall scheme. And out of those 1.4 million, only 60% of those agents aren't in production. So what does that mean to you guys in terms of that statistic? There's a lot of agents out there, but only 60% aren't selling homes. So what does that mean to all of you?
Selling homes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
only 40%. Only 40% of the 1.4 million are in production. So what does that? That's a crazy statistic, right? So what does that mean for you?
Opportunity, less competition.
Sorry.
There's not as much competition as you would think,
Yeah.
right? Out of 1.4 million, and then when you break it down, like what Jason said on stage, like 1.4 is nationally. That's how many agents we have throughout the nation. And then when you break it down by your market and then by your city, that number becomes lower and lower and lower. So that opportunity still is there, right? Inventory has stayed level, I'd say, for the last 2-3 years, and it's actually slowly creeping up from that graph that we saw, that some of us saw at least. And reminder, you guys are all going to get these slides, regardless if you're here to watch it or not, so you guys can take this information back to your clients and, you know, be that local economist. Unfortunately, we're not going to get the actual recording of the speech itself just because of some liability that Gary may have in terms of competing brokerages and stuff like that. But we will send it out, and when we do send it out, I think a few days later, we're all going to come together and have a mastermind here and talk about all of the top subjects that were spoken out here so that we can all mastermind and get a grip around what's going on this year. But I think one thing that they did say on there that, I mean, they kind of repeat a lot is the people who are in production, that 40%, are the people that are doing that work, are the people that are lead generating. And Gary Keller said, why aren't people lead generating right now, right? The market is one way or another. The buyers are at a standstill. It could be one thing or another, but if you guys put in that work, you guys will see those results. And it's time and time again, regardless of the situation. But before I just jump into some quick things that we got going on this week and next, what's something good? I want to hear one good thing from one of you. I know we have a smaller group today because of family reunion, but I just want to hear. It could be anything. It could be work related, personal related. What's going on in everybody's lives? Tell me something good. You know, I can stand up here all day waiting for someone to say something. I can sit up here and just stare at you guys for the next 30 minutes if no one wants to talk.
Okay, I'll say something.
All right, Pat.
Okay, so I am really happy that winter is almost over, because every year I go into these winter blahs.
Uh-huh.
And the sun is out more, there's gonna be less rain, and so I am really happy
Yep.
that this part of my year, every year, is just about behind me.
I got you. I love to hear. Did has Groundhog Day happened yet?
Yeah.
Did
They did
he
that
see his
job.
shadow?
Yeah, there's 6 more weeks of winter.
Oh, there's 6 more weeks of winter. Okay, gotcha. So when does winter actually end this year? Does anybody know?
When does it end?
Like when does spring start?
Well, March 21st.
March 21st is like the
That's when spring-
date.
Yeah, that's.
Okay, I gotcha.
21st or 22nd.
Well, I'm glad the winter blah is behind you.
It will be very, very.
So
soon.
what's next for you, Pat? Now that the winter blah is, sunshine. Okay, well, that makes sense. That makes sense.
My whole mindset changes.
Mhm.
Yes, with the weather is really, so once Christmas is over.
Oh, tell me about it. I love the time from winter to spring where it's not too hot and it's not too cold and it's like that beginning stage. That's my favorite time because I hate too hot weather, I hate too cold weather, but that like mid 70s, that mid 70s is absolutely perfect for me. All right, so this is gonna be a little bit quicker today just because there's a few other things going on, but I do wanna just go over a few things that we do have starting. We do have Bold again. Who attended the first session last week in Burlingame. What were your guys' thoughts, takeaways? What did you learn about the session, and was it worth it at that? There's 3 of you that went. One of you guys gotta say something.
It was, it was good. I enjoyed the meeting. It was quite a bit of people. It was like 100
Yeah.
in the seats. I think if I did join, it would be quite different. It would probably be broken up into groups.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the first meeting, I think Jessie, she's awesome. She shared a lot of her personal stories, kind of gave us, a little bit of tips of
Yeah.
her successes. I thought it was very informative.
I mean, yeah, I think Bold is great. It gets you into production, and it's more of a mindset shift, if anything, too, right? It gets you guys going, especially people that are just starting out, too. And the great thing about this program is that you do get reimbursed for it. It is $700. It's once a week for 7 weeks, and it ends on March 27th. But if you guys close anything from the day it starts, which is this Thursday, for the following 6 months, you guys will get reimbursed for half of what that is per closing. So $350 every single time you close a deal until it's paid off. So that's 2 transactions in 6 months. You guys can make your money back from Bold. So I don't think there's really a reason for you not to take it, especially if that reimbursement is there. And it's all the way in Burlingame. So what does that mean for people that do a lot of the work here on this side of the bay?
Referrals.
Exactly,
Networking.
referrals and networking. I know a lot of people that go to Bold just to get those referrals, right? I took Bold once in Pleasanton, and there's people that came over from the other side of the bay just so they can network with the people that were there. And I know that one of them actually got 1 referral from it. So I think it's definitely worth it. Just like family reunion this week, you guys can still get day pass if that's something you really want to do. But you guys meet, there's 17,000 agents there this year from across the nation, across the world. So the networking opportunity is crazy, and I think if you guys really set your focus to just getting 1 referral, either at Bold or family reunion in the future, I think it's all worth the while, because 1 referral pays for your whole entire trip, your whole entire cost, everything. So just wanted to point that out. If you guys want to sign up, it is still available. The next session, I think, is next week due to family reunion, which it is next week actually, February 27th. We will send you guys more information if you do plan on going. But once a week, travel to Burlingame from Fremont, 30 minutes isn't bad. I think it's definitely worth it.
Yeah.
And then we do have our awards ceremony next Tuesday, the 25th. We will have lunch provided too. It's going to be kind of an all-day thing. Mike and Rick will actually be here, and they're actually going to be doing a sort of mastermind class after this too. So if you guys want to be around the KW Advisors CEO and our president, hang around a little bit afterwards. You guys will be able to talk to them one-on-one as well. But this is what I want to show you guys. This is the breakdown for this week that we're going to be showing live every single day until Thursday. So today we have another session at 1:30 with Rory Vaden about Wealthy and the Well-Known. Tuesday we have Critical Conversations with Phil M. Jones, the author, which is always my personal favorite when I go to family reunion. Wednesday we have 10 Bold Truths with Gary Keller, which is actually the new Bold that we are launching this year. So if you guys are thinking about Bold, I'd strongly suggest coming to that. We have a mega agent panel on Wednesday as well from 9:45 to 11 o'clock, which I think you guys will get a bunch of value from. 20 lead generation hacks with Jason Abrams and Cody Gibson. And then on Thursday, there is a CEO Summit highlight and a inspirational morning with Mo Anderson herself, which is one of the founders of KW Advisors along with Gary Keller. And that's this Friday from 9 o'clock to 10:30. These will all be played live here in the office. Unfortunately, if you guys want to watch this at home, you guys are going to have to buy the pass because the link only works for 1 single computer at a time, or else I send the link out to all of you guys and you guys can all watch it on your own time. But this will be played, every single one of these sessions will be played live here at the office up until Friday. So if you guys plan on coming, I'll see you here because I'll be watching every single one of them myself. And then this is the following week's schedule. Let me see what we got going. We have KW Thrive with Nellie Dettinger. She is a coach and she helps new agents get into production. So if you're a new agent wanting to get into production, or if you've been out of the game for a while, I'd strongly suggest coming to this one next Thursday. Again, this week there isn't much because of family reunion. Next week we also have a vision board with Liz and Annette to get your 2025 up and going to see what you guys really want to accomplish. And then a few things in the future. We have Quantum Leap. I know Hans came up on video last time. This is a great way to get you going if you guys are between the ages under 29, and even if you guys want to come after that, it's great. It's to set you up for your future self. And we can send out more information on that. Michael Putnam will be here for Massive Action Day in March. We have a lunch and learn for first-time home buyers with Amitava, and then we have a lunch and learn with Jessica, who works in the natural hazard disclosures, because that's the #1 way agents get sued. So this is how you avoid that. Another lunch and learn. Food is always good. And then I want to finish off just with this few coming soons and just listed. You guys know how we like to do this. So how you got it, what's the price, and why someone would want it. Abhi, I think I just saw you 2 seconds ago, but you might have gone out for a second. He has one coming up in Hayward, just under $1 million. If you guys have any questions, reach out to Abhi. 4-bed, 3.5 bath. Hans has one that's coming soon as well, 1.288 here in Milpitas. Reach out to Hans for more information regarding that property. And we have some just listed. G2, are you here? No, you are not. They got one in Vallejo. Seems like a great investment opportunity at 649. Another one from G2 in San Jose, just under 1.4. And then Jan has a couple as well. San Jose at 1.7. Another one in Santa Cruz at 2.4. So if you guys have any questions regarding those, you guys know who to reach out to. But again, we have our next session coming up here at 1:30 with Rory Vaden. So if you guys plan on coming, this will all be here. Unfortunately, we're not going to live stream any of this just because of some copyright infringement stuff. We don't want to get in trouble ourselves. So if you guys do want to experience this, please come. We'll have every single one of these sessions live. But thank you everybody for coming today. It's going to be a pretty good week with all of these going on. If any of you guys have any questions or you want me to send this out ourselves, Harshita, do you mind sending this playlist out to everybody so everybody knows, so you don't have to look at their phones? We'll have these going all week. But thank you everybody, appreciate you. And let's end February off strong. Thank you everybody for coming today.
I like that last guy that spoke, that Mark.
Mark? Yeah, he's out of Ventura County in LA.
Yeah, he's down in Thousand Oaks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He does really good. I didn't know who he really
That
was.
really went a lot of money.
Yeah, I started looking him up a little bit during his talk. His story is crazy.